My name is Patrick Graham, aka Blackout Productions. I'm going to read to you a short story. It's actually one of 20 short stories of an anthology I'm putting together. And this one is called There's a Heavy Mist This Morning. Waking up, I roll over and realise what I think is a dream is real. I am in fact on an island of some sort, having washed up on a beach. We crash landed just off the shore while I was learning to fly in my newly purchased World War II Spitfire replica. It seems my brother may be right, as he always said one day these rich hobbies, as he called them, would land me in trouble. He foolishly gave away much of Dad's money to the poor and needy, as he calls them, whereas I say they are poor in work ethic and need to be more proactive in helping themselves. Now, being stranded on a tiny island somewhere in the Pacific, I truly have landed in trouble. Looking around, there is a heavy mist this morning, making visibility poor, and I'm only able to see the water, what I think are trees behind me. Standing up, I noticed that the footprints leading away from where I was laying. Who could these footprints belong to? I thought. Maybe I'm not the only survivor, and my flight instructor is here too. But if so, where is he? The mist is lifting quite quickly as wind blows, which grows ever so stronger, causing my hair to fly behind me. The mist is quickly swept out to sea, and the island becomes clear, and the wind stops abruptly. I glance down at the footprints which lead off into the trees nearby. I wonder where my flight instructor is, I thought. Maybe they did not make it, or they are looking for the way off the island, or looking for me, having washed up somewhere else. Setting off in the direction of the footprints, I stopped dead in my tracks after just a few steps. The footprints are leading away from me, but there are no prints coming towards me. How can this be? I asked myself. How can someone make footprints that lead away from my body, but do not make footprints that lead to it? Frozen to the spot, I pondered the strangeness of the footprints. Whoever made the prints had small feet, maybe size 5s like my own. My flight instructor was quite a tall man, and he had on big clumpy boots, which were clearly not petite feet like these. Whoever these footprints belonged to were that of a woman or a child, I thought. Placing my foot inside one of the prints, I find that they are the exact same size. I can just about make out the markings in some of the prints in the sand. I thought, that's strange. These markings resemble the makeup trainers that I'm wearing. I quickly lift my foot to see, and to my surprise, just like mine, they do have the same markings. Setting off again in the direction of the footprints, I stop suddenly as I hear a loud splash behind me. Turning quickly, I look out over the water, which is still, like a bath that had been left for some time, not even the slightest ripple. Hello? I say softly, then realise who will hear that, so I say much louder, hello! But there's no one there, or at least no one answers. The water is unmoved, which was not only strange that it was so still, but I know I definitely heard a splash, but yet still the water is as still as if it were frozen in time. Oh my God, I cry out, what the hell is going on? I ask myself, as I note that I've not made any footprints in the sand, and the only prints that I'm following are visible. I walk quickly away from the footprints and back towards them again, but make no indentation at all, and I try stamping, but nothing. My body is trembling, shaking like the passenger in a car rumbling over the uneven cobblestone road. One half of my mind tells me to keep following these mysterious footprints. The other half conflicts with this and tells me to go back to where I was laying and hope that my instructor returns. Maybe my instructor never made it onto the island, I thought. If they did make it, then where are their footprints? As far as I can see, the sand is a perfect carpet, unblemished in any way, apart from these footprints that lead away from me. After standing frozen to the spot for what seemed like a very long time, like a statue in some grand museum, I decided to go back to where I was laying, as it was best to believe that maybe I am actually asleep and dreaming. Following the footprints back, I realised if it was not for them originating where I had woke, I would not know where to stop, as there are no markings in the sand that my body should have made. Stopping where the footprints begin, I sit down and stare towards the trees, praying and hoping that my instructor will appear any moment. Looking at my watch, which has stopped working, most probably because the glass is cracked, I thought, given that it cost me several £1,000s, I would have expected it to be much more durable than this. Although I could not tell what time it was, I was sure I would not make it home in time for the girls' night out. I've been looking forward to it for the past 3 weeks, having bought myself the most beautiful designer dress and shoes. What a way to celebrate my 30th birthday, stranded on a bloody desert island, I thought, as fear surrounds me like a magnetic field. Feeling tired, I lie down and then fall asleep. Waking up disorientated, as I have no idea of how long I was asleep. I guessed it must have been quite a while, as it was almost dark. What to do next? I don't have a clue. All I know is that I'm scared and burst out crying, sobbing my heart out. "Help!" I scream. "Help! Somebody help me, please!" I listen for a reply, but all I hear is the deafening roar of total silence, which makes me sob even harder. Curling up in a tight ball gave me a sense of comfort, the comfort I used to get when I was a little girl and Mum had just turned the lights off at bedtime. Now in my childhood relaxation, soon enough, I fall asleep. When I wake, it's dark, almost pitch black, as I gaze upwards. I can just about make out a few stars in the sky. Closing my eyes tight while still curled in the safety of my ball, I rock myself back to sleep. I must have slept through the night, as there is a heavy mist this morning, much heavier than when I woke the day before. A brisk wind blows, the mist disappears out to sea, and the wind stops suddenly. Again I ask myself if this is all a dream. I tell myself no, as it all seems so real. The footprints are still there leading away from me, and the rest of the sand is still smooth and untouched, like the top of a very fine apple crumble. Jumping to my feet, I'm determined to see where these footprints lead and begin to walk slowly in their direction towards the trees. As I get closer to the trees, my walk slows to almost a standstill. I ask myself aloud all kinds of questions. Will I see the footprints beyond the trees? If I can't see them, which way should I go? If I can see them, how far will they take me? Should I follow them or stay on the beach? And what will happen if my instructor turns up and I'm not here? I reach the trees and the footprints end. I'm not going in there, or at least I may get lost, I say. Then I hear the sound coming from beyond the trees and immediately call out, "Hello? Is anybody there?" There's no reply, but I hear the sound again, and this time I listen intensely. Someone or something is nearby, behind the bushes a few meters ahead. Without a second thought, I run towards the sound. Although I can still hear it, it seems to be always ahead of me and never gets any closer. By now I must have run well over 100 meters, so I start walking slowly, looking all around. The bushes ahead of me move, causing me to stop dead. "Hello?" I go to say the name of my instructor, but somehow I can't recall his name, like most people I've known for a short while. "Instructor, is that you?" I ask, feeling rather stupid at calling him instructor, and edge slowly towards where the bush moved. I can make out a shape through the thicket. I think I can see someone lying there, but it's difficult to be certain if I can see a body or if it's just a tree trunk or something else. Throwing caution to the wind, I make a quick move around the bush and stop, frozen with a pulsating fear as my blood runs cold. I'm not even sure if I'm breathing. My body will not respond as my mind ticks over at the speed of a computer processing several thoughts in a split second, telling me to scream, but I cannot open my mouth, telling me to run, but I can't move, telling me to do all kinds of things so quickly and I'm able to process them anymore. Eventually, after a long time, maybe as much as an hour, I digest the terrifying sight of a body and conjured up enough courage to move closer. The body lying on the floor of the thicket is me. Same trainers, jumpsuit, hair and face. There is what must be blood which seems to be dried on the ground all around and smeared on the leaves of the surrounding bushes. My fear is somehow overcome, and I feel calmness overwhelm my whole being, and I'm drawn closer towards the body. My body. Stooping down, I lean over, and even though I'm looking at a mirror image of myself, which I don't know how to explain, strangely, I'm no longer scared. Suddenly, my body double lurches up and grabs a hold of me, and I feel the sensation of its ice-cold hands which pull me forward and embrace me tightly. An extremely cold sensation engulfs my entire being, like stepping out from the warm into a wintry blizzard as I lay on the ground. The body, my body, I can no longer see it, see me. I hear the distant splash and noises like bubbles rising to the surface of water. Unable to move, I can see through the trees and the bushes that there is a heavy mist this morning.